Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers Studio Series 8619 Dinobot Snarl, the leader class. We can go ahead and put him off to the side real quick and look at this box, which yes, is a nice picture of Snarl, kind of guess fighting in his dino mode. Transformers the movie in 8619 Studio Series and Transformers, and up here you have Transformers the movie on the top, and on here you have a close-up of his dino mode and leader class, and on this side you have another close-up of his dino mode and plastic-free packaging and authentic Transformers. On the bottom you have what's included in some plastic-free packaging and also who manufactured and whatnot. Back, of course, you have product shots and warnings and copyrights and all that stuff, and a quick little bio. Snarl and the Autobots must find a way to destroy Unicron before Cybertron is devoured. And the backdrop is Battle of Autobot City, which, speaking of course, he comes with one. A backdrop, which... Yep. Got the backdrop there, which... Yep, can fold out. Yeah, it's down. You can see it's Autobot City. And there's, that. You can put them stand there if you want. Or you can do what I do, which is, recycle the box. He also, of course, comes with the instructions, which are pretty straightforward because, even though he's leader class, he's got a fairly simple transformation, but that's because he's a Dinobot, and we don't need a big, complicated one for this. Anyway, yes, Snarl! Number 4 of the 5 Dinobots. He's the one who barely appeared in the movie for all, 10 seconds, I think. I can't remember if someone timed it, but yeah, it's ridiculously small. Yeah, you can see him there. He is, a guy kind of a very stern face, very silver face, blue, blue eyes and all that stuff. He's got the red chest with the, black in the middle. Got the weird little target thing on his belly. All that red there, some nice detailing, the black and, gray, and then the gold, and the kind of yellow, because that's a thing in the gray here. He got his big old tail wings and, the spikes and stuff back here. And yeah, he actually, fills in a lot of the gaps and stuff pretty well, as well too. So, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good overall. He's a big, bulky dinosaur man, and I like that. He also comes with a sword, which is done, it's actually cast in the, kind of this yellowish gold plastic, but it's painted silver, and yeah, it is kind of the more rubbery plastic. It's not super rubbery, but it is, mine you can see is slightly, it's not quite totally straight, but it's straight enough that most people aren't going to notice. But yes, you can still just peg in his hand, no problem. And there you go, he's got a sword, because he's the only one who's got a sword, because if I recall, in the show, he never actually had a gun. He just, had a sword, which then shot laser blasts, because... I don't know. I like to imagine it's just one of those too stupid to know that that's not how swords work. But, yeah, any which way. Oh, yeah, it's also got a little bit of blue right here on the feet. But yeah. Looks really good. Looks nice and bulky. He's, just looks overall I really like how he looks. He looks like a Dinobot should, which, yeah, big bulky guy. Just generally really nice. And of course, also if you want to with the sword, you can also with this peg, you peg it right here. If you don't want him holding it, but you want somewhere to store it, you can store it right there. And there you go, nice and hidden and out of the way, which is nice. Posability, head on the ball joints, you got left and right, a little bit up and down, some wiggle and waggle. You got all that. You got ratcheted shoulders, forward and back. Nice loud ratchets. The only thing is it kind of blocked from going back because of the tail thing, but that's not a big deal. Outward, just friction, but it goes out that far. You have a bicep swivel, just right above the elbow. You have an elbow which goes more than 90 degrees, which is nice. Also, if you really want to, you can use the transformation joint right here and get a little bit more. It's going to look a little weird, but you can do it if you want. Got that. The wrists, in fact, can swivel, which is nice. He does have a waist swivel, which also works unhindered. His hips can ratchet forward that far and get that sword out of the way, because yeah, and back that far and outwards is friction, but get full splits. On mine also the ratchet, unfortunately, you can hear clicks, right? Nice little clicky thing that wasn't supposed to happen. On this, yeah, something happened. Yeah, I've noticed there's not a lot of ratcheting going on. It's ratchets, but it's very soft on those first few clicks. And I looked, I took it, opened it up just to see what's going on. Yeah, it turns out on mine, this ratchet right here, 2 of the teeth are gnarled, so it doesn't quite work. And of course, the teeth are right there at the first few clicks of leg movement. But beyond that, the ratchet does work. It's just, yeah, it's a little softer. And yeah, those first two teeth are a little gnarled, so that kind of sucks. But you got thigh swivels. Again, ratcheted knees, which a little over 90 degrees, just a smidge over, but looks good. And feet down here, you have a lot of ankle tilt. And I guess the toe going down. Yay. Yeah. He looks real nice. And he poses pretty darn well. And he's nice and big and chunky. And I like him quite a bit. And yeah, it's just, he looks good. He's a good Snarl. He's a very good Snarl. But yeah, quick comparison. Here's the Power of the Primes Snarl, which, yeah. I think the only thing he really has going for him is, the golds all match. But yeah, it's just not as good. The helmet's the wrong shape. And yeah, it's like one of those things, like, it was fine. I thought it was like, oh, it's totally fine, you guys. And then I'm looking at it compared to this guy, like, wow, it really wasn't that fine. It was just dusty. Just realizing he's kind of got more dust in him than I thought he did. And I thought he cleaned it off already. But of course, his compatriots in the Studio Series line. Gonna have to go way wide. It's Grimlock, Slug, and here's Sludge. There you go. There are the Dinobots so far. We're just waiting for Swoop. Man, I can't wait for Swoop, because, yeah, I really want Swoop. And, of course, he's probably going to be blue, and then, of course, going to get Generations X, which will be red, because why not? Apparently with a Sludge as well, I want to mention this real quick. Sludge, apparently there's been a bit of a running change. Apparently they adjusted his legs, knowing, because remember the problem with the legs is it's kind of loose. Apparently they made them adjustments so they're a little tighter now on the running change. So if you get a Sludge now, you might be able to get one that's a little bit better than the one I have. So anyway, that's robot mode. Now to go transform him into Dino mode. Pretty simple actually. I'm going to get the sword out here. Now, first thing right here is you want to go ahead and under here you want to go ahead and move this and unclip this and bring it down. This also, the foot might come out the first few times. After a while, this stuff will loosen up enough that you don't have to worry. But yeah, the first few times this joint the foot might pop off. It's not a huge deal. You can pop it right back on, and yeah, you can do that. But yeah, do that. Rotate the fists 180 degrees and then rotate it inward like that. And then you can bring this back down and like that. Bring the foot around, and then right here, untab that and bring this up, and there's a tab here which will go into a slot right there. Like so, like that. And just leave it like that for now. Same thing on this side. Bring the yellow dino leg out. Rotate this 180 degrees and fold this away. So bring this back up, rotate that 180 degrees, bring that out, and then of course tab this into here like that, and just kind of leave it like that for now. Now here you want to go ahead and untab this and bring this up like that. Let's get that out of the way. And then take this and tail and close this up, close this tail up and tab it together like that. You want to untab this right there. Just get that untabbed. Just get the whole chest moved forward a bit. And then extend the torso out. Rotate 180 degrees at the waist. And then collapse the head into the torso like that. Then you go take the legs here and rotate them like this. Just rotate them back like that. They're now legs, by the way. Now down here, what you want to do is make sure to re-tab the ankles back in like that. You want to open this right here. There's a little panel here. You want to open this up right there like that. Open this panel up as well. Open those up. Back here, you want to go ahead and rotate this whole panel out, all these panels out. Bring this out, rotate it outward like this, and then bring it all the way, and this will tab in. There's a slot here which will tab it. Go over this tab right there. Bring this around like that. And just leave it like that. Same thing. Bring this out. Bring this out a little bit because it kind of goes over a tab there, and then bring it out like this. Bring it down and tab it in here. Bring the foot down. And then rotate it around like that. So you can bring the legs together. Tab those together like so. Bring it all tabbed together. Sometimes it will undo itself. Process. Now take the toes and bring them down. Now make sure these stay open, and then rotate this whole thing around. Also make sure this is fully extended, because otherwise it's going to have clearance issues. Rotate this around, and this should also automatically push the head out. Make sure that's still open. Make sure those are down. Bring it all like that, and bring the head the rest of the way out like so. And there's little slots here, which these tabs will go into right here. Close this up. Like that, close that up. Like so. You can go ahead and slide this back together like this. This will tab, and there's tabs right here, which will go into the slots on the feet. I'll bring that all down. You can close this up, and this will then tab. There's 2 tabs right here, which will go into 2 slots right here. Like so. Like that. Get it all together. And then right here, these will just close up in like that. And tab together as well. Just close that all up in. And then adjust the legs as necessary, because it's going to be, that's the thing we're going to have to talk about a little bit. Just adjust the legs a bit. And there you go. That is Snarl in his dinosaur mode. And yeah, Snarl's Dino Mode is, well, it's a Stegosaurus. Very weird looking Stegosaurus. Well, Stegosaurs are kind of weird looking in general, but yeah. Biggest thing here that a lot of people complain about is the mismatching yellows, because yeah, you got this nice gold for the plates, but then you got, well, more of a yellow cartoon gold for the head and like feet, and people aren't really thrilled with that. So like, yeah, I can get it, but like, again, it's not a huge problem, but it's not a huge problem, but yeah, there is definitely a mismatch, and that bothers you. You might have to whip out some paint of some sort, but yeah, overall he looks pretty good. He's got the weird thing, that's the other thing, the tail is the other thing. People want the tail to be like here, and like that's just not how he was designed in G1, so that's just one of those things. It's like, if you want a different kind of tail, well, I guess you're gonna have to get a different Snarl. Yeah, generally looks, I feel he looks pretty good in this mode. He looks nice and solid. He has a nice fun transformation. The only thing on mine is there's a bit of weird paint slop right here. I can get that off, but I have to do some finagling. But yeah, you can see a bit of paint slop, but it's not, for me, it's like, that's something I can get off. So I gotta figure out how to fix that myself, but I can get off. Yeah. Generally looks pretty good, because, well, that's just kind of how he looks. Just kind of this weird, you know, massive butt, tiny head. The other thing cool is weapon storage. The sword here, there's little slots right here on the handguard, and you just, two little tabs right here, and just hilt, that's what it's called. You just tab that in right there, just bam, and stores away pretty well. You know, it's kind of, you can kind of see it, but it's actually pretty well hidden because of how he's designed. So there's that. He looks, yeah, he just looks really good. Posability in this mode, you only got a little bit. Also, the other things, I think some copies have the good old Autobot symbol is misaligned. On mine, thankfully, is not. Yeah, posability. His mouth can open pretty wide. There, his front legs, you got forward and back. You do have a little bit, because I think they're on ball joint, so you do have a little bit of a rotation in and out, and outward a little bit, but really not a whole lot. Nothing enough to really make a huge difference or anything. You got a hinge here, which has this much range. The back legs, well, they are the dino or the robot mode arms, so you got that, which is unusual. You have ratcheted forward and back there. There's a essentially, there is a knee here, like that. You know, you can go that far. And you have this hinge here as well, and you have side to side right here, and there's your posability. It's really not a whole lot. He really doesn't have a whole lot of posability. Tail can't even move, it's just a solid block. And also sometimes it can be a little difficult to get his legs all positioned in such a way that the tail's not like slamming into the ground. You know, I think it's that was another complaint, was the tail has a tendency to just if you don't do it right, the tail's gonna make him like sit off kilter. But it's not too difficult to get him to stand properly, I say, as I make him stand improperly. Doing something wrong because he's wobbling now. He shouldn't be wobbling. Why are you wobbling? There we go. Got him. It's nice and solid. Yeah. So it's a little bit easy to get him all wobbly or whatever, but it's not also, I find it's not too difficult to, once you plant him, to just finagle with the joints so he's nice and steady again. But, yeah. Yeah, that's Snarl. Good looking Stegosaurus guy. But, of course, we got to compare him. First of all, here's the Power of the Primes version, which, yep. This is actually kind of more closer to an accurate Stegosaurus shape, to a real Stegosaurus shape, but it's not the cartoon though. So yeah, there's your thing, and also it's all more consistent about the gold, but yep, very different. Still has the thing with the tail pointing down, if you know that bothers you still. But yeah, it's there you go. It's definitely not as chunky as this guy. But yeah. The rest of the Dinobots from Studio Series, though. There's Grimlock. Look at these. There's Slug. And Sludge. Now I'm going to be honest. Of all of these, Sludge is the weakest, just because between the knee issue and just, you know, that. If Sludge is the weakest the Dinobots get, these are some good Dinobots. Because, yeah, Sludge is still pretty good even with his flaws. Snarl's really fun. Just in general, Snarl has good looking, both, in my opinion, both modes look good. And he's got a fun, intuitive transformation. Same with Grimlock and Slag, whatever you want to call him. He's just the weakest one just because he has a couple little flaws. But these are great Dinobots. Great and affordable, and I like them. Well, relatively affordable compared to, I don't know, Fans Toys, which, you know, what, go to $200, $250 a pop versus $55. Gee, I wonder. Yeah. So, that's Snarl. And honestly, he is I find him to be a pretty good darn Dinobot. He is fun. Again, good robot mode. Good alt mode, fun transformation. He's only got the one weapon, but honestly, that's kind of all he had in the cartoon anyway. He does have the mismatching yellows, but that doesn't bother me personally. I can understand why it might bother other people. So if you want this one, but don't want the mismatching yellows, unfortunately at this point, you're going to have to break out the paint. Or possibly scrape the paint off or something. I'm not sure about the those golden yellows and I think those are all rubbery yeah, these are, I think, rubbery plastic, so they might be molded in the yellow the rest of everything else is. So, you know, depending on what you want, you might be able to fix it. But overall, pretty solid release. I really like him. Yeah, I genuinely like him quite a bit. Yeah, I genuinely like him. I like how he looks. I like how he transforms. He's a fun figure, and yeah, and the leader class, and he's a good size for a leader class robot. I think he's that right balance because he also is pretty solid looking. He doesn't have any major obvious gaping holes in him or anything. He's fun. He's a fun, big, chunky robot dinosaur. And that's, I think, what you really want from a Dinobot is just big, fun, chunky dinosaur guy. So I recommend picking him up. Especially if you already got the other three. Or if you're just a Snarl fan. He's a good Snarl. So that's it for this one. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. I hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out all my social media. They're in the description and also on the main channel page as well. I'm not going to go through it all again anymore. It's too much now until it, kind of calms down. We'll see. And then check out my Coffee and my Patreon. And I shall see you next time with another video review.